Okay, so let's move to the question and see how many of you can manage to get the exact answer as close as possible to what I have written. All right. If you follow my answer and you're close to it, you're going to get the marks all the way to 44. Now, the problem with this is you need to build slowly your marks because every question is 1 mark, 2 marks, 3 marks, 1 mark, 2 marks, 3 marks, 2 marks, 1 mark, 1 mark, 2 marks, 3 marks. How many times must I get to 44? Do you see the picture now? It's a very patient build-up of marks. It's not automatically we give you 44, right? But if you get something like this, these are questions that are wrong. Do you think you can get 44 easily?
No.
No, right? So every step of the way, you got to be careful. It's like playing a game, right? One wrong step, you die. You restart. Die means what? In your game, you lose the life. Then you say, oh, no, I have to restart again. So same way, PSLE is only 1 day, 1 hour, 40 minutes or 45 minutes. And then if you miss a step and you lose the mark, you cannot come back to the game again. All right? This one, no chance to go back. Yeah, no chance to go back. So will you play carefully or don't play carefully? Brian, Leo, will you play carefully? Yes. So sit down and play carefully. You're going to have one chance at this. And then the prize at the end of it is a wonderful school that you want to go to. Am I right? Try to get as high as possible. Whatever you aim has to be high. So that even if you drop one level, okay, imagine you have 4 subjects and all the 4 subjects you drop 1 level than what you thought you will get. Maybe you're supposed to get 2, 2, 2, 2. You get 8 points, right? But you got 3, 3, 3, 3. How many points you get now? It's still a good mark because you got 3, 3, 3, 3. But originally you get 2, 2, 2, 2. 2, 2, 2, 2 is all 85 and above. But 3, 3, 3, 3 is all 80 and above. 80 marks and 85 marks, right? It's a 5 mark difference. And you end up with 3, 3, 3, 3. But then your points become from 8 to 12. You become like a worse student. It's like some student got 8 and you got 12. You look like a very bad student because you actually miss some steps somewhere and you miss carelessly some marks, 1 or 2 marks, maximum 3 marks. 3 marks is enough to drop you into another another AL. Why? Because say for example you got 87 marks, then you lost 3 marks, you get 84. Am I right to say that because of your 2, 2, 2, 2 now become 3, 3, 3, 3? Now your 8 point become a 12 point. Yeah. So this is just my way to become a very good student to suddenly looking like a poor student and then you cannot get the school of your choice. The worst thing that can happen is you cannot get the school of your choice. Okay, please don't fall into that trap. The trap is there waiting, but don't fall into it. Is that clear, guys? Only those who are careful and know what is in that trap and there's a hole there waiting for you to fall inside, you're going to walk around it. You'll be like, I know, and then you walk around it. But those who didn't see it will fall in it. So make sure you are not one of those. All right, let's carry on. The table below shows the characteristics of 3 different plants. It has flowers, no flowers, it shows. And can the flower develop into a fruit? Only one of them cannot develop into a fruit. It has a flower but cannot develop into a fruit. Is it? Looking at you. The flower cannot develop into a fruit. Why? What is the possible reason? Okay, something wrong with the flower. Okay, the flower must be able to produce, but it cannot reproduce. So you need to know what are the conditions for reproduction. What does it need?
No stigma.
Yeah, it needs pollen grains to be deposited on what?
The answer.
On the stigma. No, not necessary. You don't need anther actually. Anther can give the pollen grain, but pollen grain can come from animals' legs, like the bees, which may be on their legs, they come to the stigma. and can drop off also, right? So remember there's a stigma here. So you need pollen grains to drop on them. It can be brought by anther, yes, or if no anther still can. How can? They must think. How can? Oh, animal, the bee that flies in, the insect that flies in can have pollen grain and it drop and can still reproduce. So stigma is important, but anther is not important. Pollen grain is important, but not necessarily from the what? Anther. And then stigma will connect to the, yeah, some of you are getting to the further like ovary and ovule. Yes, you need the ovary and ovule where there's fertilization of this to occur also. So it could be a few reasons. So there are many reasons. Very good. Whatever reasons that you give are acceptable, we will give you the correct 1 mark. Okay. Probably a male that does not have an ovary, does not have ovules to grow into fruit, or it did not have a stigma also can. All right. Yes. Either the stigma or the ovary is removed. When this happens, fertilization cannot take place. Very good answer by Brian. Thank you very much. Hannah, for sharing your answers. Amiya as well. Actually, all of you can actually, those of you who are not participating actively, you can see who are participating actively. I'm very sure people like Hannah, Amiya, Leo, Brian are going to get higher marks than the rest of you. Why? Okay, Agalia is joined in now. Please join in. I'm not going to ask you to come forward to the front of the class and talk. I'm not going to ask you to unmute, but I'm just asking you to share your answers. The more you share, the more participative you are. You are going to go into this higher category of being able to score that AL1. Remember, I said, follow me, stay with me, and get your AL1. So just follow my method. Just stay with me. Okay?
It's just like
The fact that you
following
are
the
here already,
teacher.
yes, the fact that you are here already is already, I think those of you are going to get AL3 are going to get AL2 and 1 because you just become better. Understand? Brian here earlier said, my parents are happy with AL4. I'm telling you, Brian will get AL2 at least. He's going to get AL2 or 1 because he's interested and his parents have a lower expectation to say, it's okay, Brian, we think you're doing very well and don't have to pressure too much. But he's a guy who's here learning science and he's interested. So I have personal believe in him. I believe in you guys who are here as well, all of you. All right. So just be present in the class. It's going to end at 7. It's only 45 minutes more. All right. Now, state the most likely method of pollination for plant X and plant Y. It's a very simple, write down the method of pollination because of how they look like. One of them have stigma right inside. Look at the stigma is right inside here. And the anthers are there within the petals. And another one doesn't have much and they are hanging out. So anthers are hanging out, stigma is hanging out. What is the method? Yeah, it's just animal or wind, right? Right. Okay, so most likely X will be animal because you need the kind of an animal to come in and actually sit and maybe feed on the nectar to be able to drop off some pollen grains. But why having its stigma all very well exposed, it can attract some pollen grains that are in the air, which is transported by wind. The X, because these petals are protecting or covering the stigma so well that the wind is not able to pass the pollen grains from the air to the stigma. So I think guys are on the right track. So describe how the characteristics of the parts of B2. Okay, please take note when they tell you in B2 means the previous part. Okay, how the characteristics of the parts helps you to pollinate it. So basically they're asking you what's the reason for your answer in part B? What's the reason that you said it's animal pollinated? What's the reason for it to be saying it's wind pollinated? Why? Okay, the anther hangs out. They're just asking you to describe the characteristics a bit more. The anther hangs outside so that the pollen grain can be blown away by the wind. Right, very good. I see some answers sharing here by Hannah. Mithilan has joined in. Very good. Amia. Okay, I'm reading your answers as well. Okay. Bala Vignesh, thanks for your participation and answers. Okay. If any questions, you can just type it out. I will try to read. Okay, Ameya is asking if answers correct. When the stigma is hanging out of the flower, the chances of pollen coming into contact with the stigma increases. Chances of pollen grains coming into contact from the wind. You never write the word the wind. Ameya, although they're hanging out, there's no indication of the wind here. Look at my answer. There's a wind answer there. Your word wind is missing. Okay, so please take note of that. Okay. Hannah also is asking if hers is okay. Hannah says the flowers, anthers are hanging out, which is common. Yes, carried away by the wind, and the stigma is also feathery. It allows the stigma to catch the pollen grains, thus pollinating flower. Why? Okay, very good. Let's go to part D then. Give one advantage of seed dispersal for plants. In general, they didn't say plant X or plant Y because they say in plants, sometimes you just have to be general. What is the advantage of seed dispersal? Now it's seed, not pollen grain. We have pollen grain is earlier. Now is seed. Can you see the difference? Some of you confuse pollen grain and seed. Different, huh? Because pollen grain was in the flower stage. Seed is in the fruit stage. How many of you can agree with me? Right? Seed is to reproduce from the seed to become a new plant. Flower is still what? Pollinating to become a fruit. Okay, so what is the advantage of seed dispersal? Why should seeds be dispersed, whether it be by animal or by wind or by water? For seed, there's even one more dispersal method is by water as well. And by animals, not just insects, because animals can eat the fruit and then pass out the seed somewhere else. So the general idea is that the seed actually is moving places. That's called dispersal. How many of you don't know what dispersal is yet? Don't know. Dispersal is seed is moving places, not from just being at that spot. A tree cannot walk. A tree cannot run. A fruit can fall, but the seeds can move far, far away. That is the concept of dispersal. Okay. And we learned that they can move far, far away by wind, by water. If they are fruits can float in water, then they're going to go by water. If they're going to sink, then they're not going to move in water. So they have to have flotation properties like fibrous husks on coconuts. Okay, light fruits that can float on water. Right. Yeah. So you can see where I'm getting a. I'm looking at water. I'm looking at air. I'm looking at land. And by land means how are they going to be moved? Land does not only mean animals. Even human beings eat fruit and we pass out seeds, but unfortunately we don't pass out or waste onto the land in the forest, so we are not included. We do it in the toilet, right? Yeah. Okay. Right. So the advantage is we do not fight for space, light, and water with the adult plants so that they can grow better. So I'm looking at Susan's answer is correct. Okay, Hannah, seed dispersal reduces competition between the parent plant and the young plant, and to prevent overcrowding, to prevent competition with sunlight and food or water even. So seed dispersal is very good because when the seeds go far, far away, they don't fight with each other because every seed can become a plant, every plant can become a tree. And imagine many trees are in the same place fighting with each other for water and nutrients and space and sunlight. Then they're not going to grow well. So let them go far away. So that's the advantage of seed dispersal. One of the parts S, T, or U has the same function as part Y. This is plant reproductive and animal or human reproductive. You have to compare. Now, although you studied separately, but in the exam they combine and they ask you, what do you think Y does similar to U? Which one is similar to U? Is it S? Is it T? Or is it U?